The wind was quiet that morning. On Earth, it was a normal day. Kids laughed at school. Buses moved through crowded streets. Parents kissed their children goodbye without knowing it might be the last time. In New Berlin, Commander Eric Sola sat in his kitchen, eating eggs and toast. His daughter Zara was on the holoscreen. Calling from her school dorm on Luna Base, she wore her usual bright smile, half hidden behind her dark curly hair. "Did you study for your math exam?" Eric asked with a grin. "I don't need to." "Dad," Zara said proudly, "I'm going to ace it." Suddenly, the holoscreen flickered. Zara's image froze, mouth half open, smile fading. Then the screen went black. Eric tapped the side. Zara, can you hear me?" No answer. His heart skipped. He called her again. Nothing. Then every device in his home powered off at once. Lights, kitchen tools comes. Even his watch died. Then came the message. "Every screen on Earth, Luna, Mars, even the colonies on Titan, went dark for one long second. Then a voice spoke. It wasn't a voice any human had ever heard before. It was cold, layered, like metal scraping metal. Yet somehow it spoke every human language at once. "We are the Dreth. We are taking your future. Do not resist. You will survive. Your children will not." And just like that, they were gone. Across the Earth in colonies, children disappeared. In homes, they vanished mid-breakfast. In classrooms, their seats emptied in flashes of blue light. On playgrounds, soccer balls rolled to a stop beside missing shoes. No alarms, no explosions, no ships in orbit. Just a silent, invisible theft, one by one, then in thousands. The panic begins. Eric ran into the street. Other neighbors did the same. Cries filled the air. "My son is gone. Where's my baby? They took my twins. They were just here." Governments scrambled. Military networks lit up with emergency alerts. Satellites scanned the skies, but there were no enemies to find. In just 40 minutes, over 40,000 children across Earth and its colonies had vanished without a trace. Every continent reported the same. No entry signals, no wormholes, no cloaked ships. Just missing children and a chilling silence. One comes back 31 hours later. Something returned. A patrol drone from the African Federation found a small shuttle drifting above Earth. No life signs. No known design. Earth's space guard brought it down. Inside, they found a single girl, 6 years old, hair shaved, eyes blind, skin pale. Her name was Maya Yates. She had disappeared from a preschool in Nairobi. Doctors rushed her to a clean lab in Geneva. She didn't respond to light or sound. She didn't speak. But then she began to whisper, over and over. "Drethik, Drethik." The man who wouldn't wake Commander Eric Solas sat in the observation room above Maya's recovery chamber, his fists clenched. His own daughter Zara was still gone. Her last smile now haunted him. He didn't believe in waiting. He believed in action. He had fought in the Europa Rebellion. He had survived the Mars dust riots. He had never seen fear like this. Not from enemies, from humanity itself. The leaders were frozen. They wanted to investigate. They wanted to wait. Eric wanted to hunt. He activated his private terminal and opened a long-forgotten program, Project Phoenix, and off books. Emergency military plan designed for worst-case scenarios. Never activated, too risky, too aggressive, too human. Eric didn't care anymore. He sent out 12 encrypted messages. Within hours, ships began to rise. Not government ships. Human ships, made by families of the stolen, funded by loss, fueled by rage, the red storm across the world. Skies turned crimson. No one knew why. Some said it was plasma bleeding into the upper atmosphere. Others said it was a sign from the Drethik, a warning, or a message. But Eric saw it differently. He stood on the deck of the Valkyrie. The lead ship of the Phoenix fleet behind him, 6 other ships prepared for deep space jumps. They weren't ready. Not really. They had limited weapons. No confirmed targets, no coordinates. But that didn't matter. Eric spoke into the fleet-wide come. They took our children. They broke into our homes, our skies, our peace, and they thought we would bow. No, Earth has teeth, and now, Earth is coming. The fleet jumped. Unknown shadows as the ships vanished from Sol System. A faraway race watched from the edges of the dark galaxy. The Varn, a silent, ancient race who observed rather than intervened. One of them, a star reader, turned to his elders. "They are going after the Dreth," he said. The elders nodded slowly. "It begins again," one whispered. "Just like the prophecy," another added. "They took the children of Earth, and now Earth's wrath has awakened." But the youngest Varn said what none dared speak. "It's not the Drethic who are in danger. It's the galaxy." Back on Earth? Maya sat up in her bed, finally speaking. Doctors rushed in, recording every word. Her first sentence was chilling. "They put needles in our minds." Then she said something else, something that made Eric freeze when he heard it later on the "Come feed." "They're not just studying us, they're changing us. Some of the kids, they don't remember Earth anymore." Her tiny voice shook. "They want to raise us as their own." The room went silent. The message was clear. Earth was no longer asking. 2 days after Project Phoenix launched, a Drethic scout ship appeared near Jupiter's outer orbit. Small, silent, cloaked in adaptive plasma. It scanned Saturn's rings, moved toward Earth's defense grid, paused. Someone was watching. From behind the shadow of Ganymede, a railgun turret fired. One solid shot. The Drethic scout ship didn't explode, it collapsed. The blast punched through 5 layers of shielding and cored the vessel in half. It spun once, twice, then froze in orbit, dead and drifting. Earth had fired first. Inside the wreck, the Space Guard retrieved the wreckage before it hit. Jupiter's pull, what they found inside, wasn't expected. There were no soldiers, no pilots, only machines. But in the rear hold was a dark glass pod. Inside floated a child. Dead. His eyes had been replaced with lenses. His limbs were thin, mechanical, as if bone had been replaced with wire. He was 12. From China, identified by his old school records. His name was Hao Lin. He had vanished 3 days ago from Beijing. He never had a chance. Autopsy showed he'd already undergone 6 genetic procedures. The machines weren't just studying the children. They were rebuilding them, the world. React's people across Earth began demanding retaliation. The skies filled with unrest riots in New York, Berlin, Lagos. Billions screamed for action. The footage of Hao Lin was broadcast planet-wide. Even Earth's pacifist governments gave in. The United Nations. Defense Council voted to remove all combat restrictions. Earth was now authorized to strike. And the man in charge of the mission? Commander Eric Solas. The Ark awakens in a black hangar under the ice of Antarctica. Earth's hidden ace, the Ark powered up. It wasn't just a ship. It was a planet dash killer, half the size of a city, built in silence for over 20 years. Powered by a forbidden singularity core. Wrapped in neutron-forged armor. Its jump drive was experimental, no one had ever tested it. But Eric didn't care. It could go farther. Faster than anything Earth had ever launched. And it had one job. Find where they took the children. Bring them back. Burn everything in the way. Eric stood on the bridge of the Ark as systems came online. He wore no medals, just his daughter's old bracelet, now tied around his wrists like a promise. Admiral Vorsa, Earth's top AI war strategist, appeared beside him. "Sir, long-range sensors are blind. The Drethic use folded dimensions. No ship can track them." Eric didn't blink, and will follow the scream. He held up a signal recorder, Maya's whisper, amplified and decoded. The AI paused. "Following that could send us into uncharted voids. It's suicide." Eric gave the order anyway. Jump. The silent wake, the Ark's jump tore a hole in space. Every station in Sol felt it. A gravity quake shook the moon. Mars trembled. Titan's skies turned violet for 5 seconds. Then the Ark was gone. No signal, no ping, no comms. Just can't. Families feared it had failed, that it had broken apart in the jump. But what really happened was far stranger on the other side. The crew of the Ark woke up to silence. No stars, no planets, just black, as if space itself had been erased. Then, lights flickered on. Not their lights. Alien lights. Green veins of bioluminescent towers stretching across a strange planet-sized structure. A ring world. Something worse. Something alive. The Ark had arrived in Drethik territory, uninvited, the message they left behind before they vanished. Eric sent a single message back to Earth, just for words. He found the nest. Then silence. But across the galaxy, other species received the same signal. The Varn. The Coral. Even the ancient exiles on the shadow moons of Theta-9 that all heard. Earth's warning, and they all remembered what humans had done when provoked. Because Earth had never started a galactic war, but it had ended 3 now. Earth wasn't waiting for war. It was bringing it. The stars were gone. When the Ark finished its jump, the crew expected to see a new star system. Maybe alien worlds, some moons, anything. But instead, darkness. Total. The sensors showed nothing, not even empty space. It was like the laws of the universe had broken. Commander Eric Solis stood on the bridge, staring at the screen. There was only one thing visible now, a single blinking signal. Pulsing weakly in the black dot, it was Maya's voice, still repeating. One word, Drethik. Drethik. They had followed it through the jump gate, and now they were alone, or so they thought. The graveyard suddenly, one of the scout drones sent back data. The crew gathered in silence as the screen lit up. A ship. Then another, and another. Hundreds of them. Dead, twisted husks of alien ships floated ahead. Some looked like coral, others like bones. Many were unknown classes species Earth had never encountered. Each one showed signs of battle, of destruction. But none were recent. Eric realized the truth. This isn't just a trap. It's a trophy room. The Drethik didn't just destroy ships, they collected them. Kept the remains of every species they had ever conquered. Like art, like a warning. Signal from inside suddenly, a message pierced the void. It came from inside one of the larger Rexenold station ship, shaped like a dying flower. Barely powered, but the voice was human. Help. This is Cadet Rafe Mercer. From Earth. Colony vessel Horizon 4. We were taken. Eric's hands clenched. Horizon 4 had disappeared 6 years ago, classified as lost to a solar flare near Alpha Centauri, but they hadn't been lost. They had been taken. The Ark launched a boarding team, the horror within inside the wrecked station. The team found a group of survivors, half-starved eyes sunken, skin marked with strange glowing scars. Most had lost their minds. One child kept repeating, "I'm not me anymore. I'm not me anymore." In the medbay, they found Rafe Mercer, barely alive, but conscious. He gave Eric a name no one expected, Zara Solis. She's alive. Eric froze. Where there? Training her. Changing her. Making her. Lead them. He passed out before he could explain more. Drethik transformation back on the Ark. The ship's AI Vorsa ran scans on the survivors. What they discovered was horrifying. Every child showed signs of neural rewiring, Drethik tech, injected into their brains. Their reflexes were supercharged, muscles enhanced. But the most disturbing change? Memories had been edited, whole pieces of childhood erased, replaced with fabricated memories of Drethik loyalty, artificial emotions, new instincts. They weren't just stealing human children, they were turning them into soldiers. Perfect soldiers. Grown fast, emotionally loyal, biologically human, but mentally Drethik. Earth's next generation. Rewritten a planet with no sun, the Ark followed the signal. Further until it found something massive, an object blocking their path. It looked like a planet, but there was no sun nearby. It gave off its own light, a faint, sickly green. Scans showed structures all across the surface, not buildings, barracks, training grounds, cloning vats. Tens of thousands of children's life signs. Eric whispered. "We found one of their camps." There was something worse. Orbiting above the planet was a command ship, a Drethik battlecruiser, bigger than anything Earth had ever seen. Its core pulsed with unstable plasma. Its surface was plated with segments of alien armor stolen from every species the Drethik had crushed. Vorsa read its data tag. Terra's womb primary command vessel. Biological AI oversees the indoctrination program. Inside it was Zara, confirmed by the heartbeat match. She was alive, but she wasn't the same. The Eric faced the hardest choice of his life. Strike nor risk the lives of thousands of children, including Zara, or wait. Observe, learn more. Letting the Drethik finish whatever they were building, he gave the order, "We go dark. We learn then. We strike." The Ark began silent orbit, its guns powered down, its cloaks activated, but deep inside the command ship, as if sensing her father's arrival, one child opened her eyes. Zara, her hand reached for her sidearm, her breathing sharpened, and she whispered, "Earth is here." It began with screams, not from humans, but from Drethik soldiers, on a training moon called Karnak 7. Orbiting the dead green planet, the alien instructors were preparing another combat drill. Human children, barefoot, bruised, wearing neural collars, were forced into battle against holographic beasts. The Drethik laughed as the kids struggled, then the sky cracked open. A beam of searing white light slammed into the center of the arena. Turning everything to fire, the Ark had arrived. The surprise attack Commander Eric Solis didn't wait for. Permission. His daughter was out there, and Earth had waited long enough. The Ark came out of cloak above Karnax, and unleashed hell. Railguns fired tungsten rounds that punched straight through the moon's crust. Drones swarmed out, slashing through the outer perimeter. Plasma bombs lit up the sky like a second sunrise. Within 47 seconds, the Drethik defense grid collapsed. Karnak 7 burned. The children fight back in the chaos. Something unexpected happened. The children, those who had been kidnapped, brainwashed, transformed, began to fight back. Some still wore collars. Others were still half-controlled. But something had changed. They saw the Earth flag painted on the drones. They heard the voice broadcasting from the sky. "We are coming for you. You are not forgotten." And deep inside them, something old returned memory. They remembered their homes, their names, their families, and they turned on their captors. A 14-year-old boy named Aiden tackled his alien trainer and crushed its skull with its own weapon. A girl with synthetic arms, Juno, age 11, used her strength to rip open the barracks gates. Even the smallest child, a 6-year-old named Molly, whispered the word Earth and charged toward the landing site. Reunion and Fire Eric led the ground. Team himself, armor on, gun ready, scanning every corner of the shattered camp. He wasn't prepared for what he saw. A group of children, maybe 40, came running toward the landing zone. At the front of them dashed Zara. She was taller now. Her eyes glowed faintly. Her movements were sharp, efficient like a soldier. But she stopped when she saw him. "Dad?" Her voice cracked. He dropped his weapon, rushed forward, pulled her into his arms. For a moment, war didn't matter then. Zara whispered, "They're watching. They always watch." And just like that, the reunion ended. The counterattack above, Karnak 7. The Drethik command ship Terra's Womb came online, its hull split open like a mouth. Inside, rows of spore cannons, energy blades, and void missiles. It began charging its main Weapon A gravity core. It's designed to crush planets. Eric knew they had minutes. He ordered a full retreat, with one exception: get the kids. Get all of them. Dropships flew low, skimming over fire and rubble, scooping up as many survivors as possible. Zara, though altered, directed other rescued children like a commander. She knew the camp's layout. She knew escape routes. She knew how to kill Drethik. "Where did you learn this?" Eric asked. Her answer was cold. "They taught me, but they taught me too well." The escape the Ark, now over capacity, roared back into orbit with hundreds of rescued children aboard. The terror's womb fired, but the beam missed. The Ark jumped out of range just in time, warping back into deep black space. Behind them, Karnak 7 crumbled. Damage report they had saved 213 children. Some were barely alive, some couldn't speak. Many had scars, mental and physical. But they were safe. Among them, only a few were like Zara, enhanced, trained. Changed. These children were stronger, faster, sharper, but something was wrong. Many of them didn't sleep. They stood quietly in the medbays, staring at walls, or whispering to each other in broken Drethic code. One doctor said, "These aren't just rescued prisoners. They're unfinished weapons." The message to Earth back in the Sol system, Earth received the first direct transmission from the Ark. It wasn't from Eric. It was from Zara. She stood before the camera, hands behind her back. "We've been taken, changed, hurt, but we are still ourselves. Remember Earth, and we are coming home." Her voice hardened. "But there are thousands more still out there. We can't leave them. We won't." Eric's voice followed. This was only the first strike, and now they know we can hit them. Across the galaxy, on distant worlds, alien species watched Earth's message. Some were afraid, others were inspired. The Varn whispered too. Their elders, the humans, are coming, not with mercy, not with diplomacy. No one elder said, with vengeance. The Drethic high mind did not scream, it listened. As images poured in of broken camps, dead trainers, and children returned to human hands, the high mind simply sat inside its chamber of bone and wire. Watching Earth had struck first now, the Empire would strike back, and this time, the galaxy would watch them burn. The broadcast that shook the stars 48. Hours after the destruction of Karnak 7, a galaxy-wide transmission went out. Every species, every outpost, every station tuned in whether they wanted to or not. The Drethic appeared on screen towering, faceless, wrapped in living armor, and draped in the skins of former enemies. The high mind spoke in 1,000 voices at once. Earth has violated the pact of stars. Earth has stolen its property. Earth has declared war. So now, Earth shall be war. The signal ended, and across the stars, massive fleets began to move. Drethic Prime located deep within the Jarnock expanse. The Drethic homeworld wasn't a planet Tit, was a machine wrapped in bone and fire. Draethek Prime. Here, the indoctrination. Facilities bred child soldiers. The memory forges erased identity. The command spires plotted the destruction of resistance. Now, those spires were glowing. At their center stood the crown commander of the Drethic war fleets, Enroth, a creature born from 13 other conquered species, stitched together by war tech. Zanroth whispered one name, Solas. He did not want to destroy Earth. He wanted to break it, slowly, publicly. Because once Earth fell, the rest of the galaxy would stop hoping. Earth mobilized back on Earth. Panic spread. News of the Drethic Declaration exploded across all channels. The footage of Zara's speech had inspired hope, but now fear threatened to drown it. Every orbital yard ramped up production. All civilian ships were grounded. Earth activated Project Ares, the old war contingency designed for last-line defense. But the question wasn't, can we hold Earth? It was, can we stop them before they reach us? Zara's transformation on board the Ark. Zara Solas trained without rest. She didn't eat with the other children, didn't sleep. The enhancements in her body, the speed, the reflexes, the hard light. Muscles were no longer new. But now, something else had changed. She was remembering everything. Was their general, she whispered to Eric. I led raids. I killed things, not knowing what they were. Her voice trembled. Dad, they made me like it. Eric put a hand on her shoulder. Then it's time to take that back. Zara turned toward him, her eyes sharp. Not yet. First, we finish what they started. The forgotten allies out in the rim systems, a once neutral race the Kaleri watched. Earth struggled and made a choice. They had remained silent during centuries of Drethic expansion, afraid of sharing their technology. But after seeing the message from Zara, after seeing children turned into weapons, they sent a message. To Earth, we cannot fight with you, but we can arm you. They delivered a rare weapon, a pulse core, capable of destabilizing Drethic bioships from within. With it, the Ark could now do more than survive. It could cut the heart out of Drethic Prime. The final countdown begins of Vorsa. The AI of the Ark detected strange readings from within the Jarnock expanse. Dozens of Drethic fleets were merging. A Woon fleet was forming a city-sized convoy of battleships, carriers, indoctrination vessels. Destination, Earth. Timeline. 3 days. Eric stood before the crew and the rescued children, now armed, armored, and ready. They're coming, but we won't wait. We hit them first. We go to Drethic Prime. We tear down their machines. We free the rest of our children. Then we burn their history. He looked at Zara. Are you ready? She nodded. I remember who I am now. I'm not their soldier. She paused. I'm Earth's revenge. Elsewhere. In a distant system, a forgotten prophecy was being reread by a dying monk of the Varn. It told of a race born in flame, molded by grief, and sharpened by loss. They will not bring balance, the monk whispered. They will bring reckoning. The bridge of the Ark was silent. All eyes were on her, not Commander Eric Sola's, but Zara Sola's. 12 years old, eyes glowing faint blue, skin scarred from neural burns, voice calm. Commanding, she stood at the center of the war table, pointing. 2-3 Drethic supply lanes feeding into their Woon fleet. We strike here, here, and here. Hit their fuel, hit their gene forges. Then we vanish. Someone finally spoke. You're a child. Zara didn't blink. I was. They took that from me. Now I take from them. And just like that, the child general was born. The broken son Zara wasn't alone. From the hundreds of rescued children, 42 had been fully enhanced, rewired, forged by Drethic hands, but Earth had reclaimed them now. These 42 formed a new unit. Under Zara's command, the Broken Sons. They were fast, lethal, obedient to her alone. And each carried scars, both seen and unseen. They were Earth's paradox, monsters made by enemies, now turned back against them. The first operation, Vilstricosine stealth drones and captured Drethic ID codes. The Broken Sons slipped behind enemy lines. Their mission, destroy a data core vault orbiting Annexus. A moon fortress controlling fleet orders for the Dreth Eastern Wing. The vault was guarded by 9,000 Drethic shock troopers, the Broken Sons, numbered. For 2, they struck at night. By morning, the vault was gone. 0 casualties on the human side. Zara left behind a message burned into the walls. You wanted weapons? You got them. The Galaxy Watch's footage of the mission leaked across the galactic net, not by accident. A pirate network captured images of Zara leading the Broken Sons through fire and transmitted them to every known system. Billions watched in silence. A child. Leading soldiers, killing aliens, outwitting commanders. The message was clear. Earth was no longer protecting its children. Now, Earth's children were protecting Earth. Drap. Prime Reax Anrith. Crown Commander of the Drathic smashed his claws against the throne platform. He summoned his inner circle. She is the key. Kill her. No war, no armies. Just her. They released the chimeric Swarma Black Ops Kill Squad, built from genetic fragments of extinct warriors. Faster than light, invisible to most sensors. Their only job? Eliminate Zara Sola's. The trap Zara expected it. She led the Broken Sons into a staged ambush on the rocky world of Cadron 5, where false signals lured the chimeric. Swarm in. She had already mapped their moves, had already trained her team to respond. The fight lasted 12 minutes. Zara killed the last Swarm soldier with her bare hands, its data core still twitching in her grip. The Sons stood in silence, watching her. Then, for the first time, One of them saluted. "General." And the rest followed. Eric's worry back aboard the Ark. Commander Solus watched his daughter walk the halls like a weapon made flesh. She didn't laugh. Anymore, she didn't play music. She trained. She studied. She killed. Vorsa, the AI, warned. Her neural pathways are shifting. She's becoming more Drethic than human. Eric shook his head. No, she's becoming something else. The revelation one of the rescued children, a boy named Theo, unlocked a memory fragment buried deep inside his augmented brain. It showed a hidden facility on Drethic Prime. Not a prison, not a lab. A vault where thousands of unmodified Earth children were being kept asleep. Preserved the originals. Zara saw it and froze. That's their backup plan. If we become unstable, they'll start over. Clean slates, new minds, new soldiers. She turned to Eric. They don't believe we're human anymore. And maybe we're not. The final phase begins with the vault's location known. The Ark sets course for Drethic Prime. It will be a direct assault, no stealth, no waiting. The fleet is almost in soul space. There's no more time. Zara loads her armor, the broken suns sharpen their blades, and Eric prepares for the one mission he swore he'd never make, to kill every last Drethic. The sky above Earth turned red, not from the sunset, from the arrival over 300. Drethic warships broke into soul space in a spiral formation, unfolding from subspace like blades. Massive carriers, gene vaults, memory forges, hive stations. A living fleet of twisted metal and screaming engines. But Earth was ready, for the first time in centuries. The world was united under fire. The final warning, the Drethic sent one message. In every human language, burned into every device, return the children, or Earth will burn. Earth's response came from the Ark. Zara Solas appeared on every screen. Standing beside her father, flanked by the broken suns, she stared into the camera. You stole us. You twisted us. You broke our minds. And now, we're what you made us. She raised her weapon. We're not giving anything back. We're taking everything. The defense of Earth as the Drethic Armada reached the outer planets. They expected weak resistance missiles, railguns, maybe a few orbital ships. Instead, they found Earth had changed. Titan's moonbelt lit up with defense cannons. Neptune launched quantum spike torpedoes that pierced shields. Mars released swarms of AI-piloted drones, thousands of them, each loaded with anti-biotech payloads designed for one thing: killing ETHEK. The first wave of the enemy fleet never reached Mars. It vanished in a ball of silent, blinding light, Earth's Zeus protocol. A satellite-based fusion lance triggered from orbit. It turned half a carrier group into vapor. The Ark returns as Earth's defenders held the line. The Ark dropped from FTL behind Drethic lines. It cut through them like a blade of fire. Zara led a boarding strike into the command vessel Voiceless Fury, disabling its biocore and stealing its command matrix. Her broken suns disabled 5 other ships from inside. The Drethic were superior in numbers, but Earth had something else. Fury, precision, memory, and Zara, the turning point midway through the battle. Earth's fleets began to push the Drethic back, something no species had done in over 500 years. But the enemy had a secret. From the belly of the Drethic Dread mothership, they released a signal pulse one designed to reactivate the indoctrination coding still buried in the enhanced children's minds. It was meant to turn Zara and the broken suns back into weapons for the enemy. For a moment it worked. The suns froze. Some twitched. One began to scream. Zara dropped to her knees. Hands clamped over her head. Eric reached for her, but it was too late. She stood up slowly, her eyes glowing. No. And then she overrode it, with sheer will. She looked at her team and screamed, "We are not yours." Her neural core rejected the pulse. The feedback loop shattered the signal and disabled the Drethic frequency. The sun's still human where it mattered. With their own memories intact, Zara looked up at the battle raging in the sky. Now, we end this. humanity strikes with. The enemy command structure collapsing. Earth's War Council authorized full retaliation. Saturn's shipyards opened, releasing 6 Titan-class warships, once deemed too dangerous to ever deploy. AI-guided, Sun-core-powered. Armed with singularity bombs, the Titan ships pushed through the middle of the Drethik line and launched a payload directly into the Wound Fleet. Core biological processor, the Drethik, used to coordinate all strategy. When it died, their fleet broke. Ships began to retreat. Some turned on each other. Others self-destructed. Zanroth, watching from Drethik Prime, roared in disbelief. He hadn't just lost a battle, he'd lost the fear that held the galaxy in place. Earth had risen, the final signal back on Earth. As cleanup began and the skies turned blue again, Zara broadcast one last message. We are still missing thousands. They're on Drethik Prime. We know where, and we are coming. Across the galaxy, other species, long silent in terror, began to move. The Varn reactivated their defense moons. The Marqueen, once enslaved, declared freedom. Even the shadowy Amari whispered, "If Earth leads, we follow." And in the cold silence of space, the Ark turned toward its final destination. Drethik Prime. One world. No. One vault. One last chance to bring the children home. The sky above Drethik Prime was black, not from absence of light, but from presence of war. The Ark dropped out of FTL alongside a strike fleet of Earth's finest. Behind them, the Titan-class warships. Beside them, allies once too afraid to speak. The Varn, the Kaleri, and even the shattered Marqueen had come not for diplomacy, but to watch history be rewritten, because now the Drethik were cornered, and Earth had come for its children. The vault deep beneath the crust of Drethik Prime, buried in a living mountain of flesh tech and bone mech, lay the Vault of Origin. Inside were over 6,000 human children, never modified, preserved like specimens in cryochambers, clean, untouched, meant to become the next generation of Drethik soldiers. Until now, Zara Solas, now fully leading the mission, knew every hallway, every guard rotation, every hidden code. She had been built to defend this vault. Now, she would destroy it. This is where they wanted to restart us, she told her team. Where they planned to erase Earth completely. We end it here. The assault begins. The Ark, and Earth's allies, unleashed everything. Railguns, orbital lances, Titan warship, singularity bombs. But Drethik Prime fought back. Living cannons burst from its surface. Swarms of biofighters screamed through the sky. One Titan warship was torn in half by a gravity maw, its remains crashing into the surface like a second moon. Still, Earth pushed forward. The broken suns dropped onto the surface, leading the charge across Azar stone fields and death-spick trenches. Zara fought like flame. Eric Solis. Beside her, cleared paths with thunder rifles and EMP grenades. Behind them marched vengeance born in metal. Raised in grief, burning with fury, the final door of the vault's core chamber was sealed by an ancient AI. DRAETHEK-made to open it required Drethik genetic coding, something only the high mind or its chosen could possess. Zara stepped forward, her blood half human. Half altered was enough. The door opened with a scream. Inside, rows and rows of sleeping children, faces peaceful. Still dreaming of Earth, many had not aged at all. Maya, Yatesage 6, was still sleeping in her pod. So was Hao Lin, the first child found, now repaired and whole. Tears burned in Eric's eyes, Zara whispered. They never wanted to wake them. Not until they erased the rest of us. Then let's wake them ourselves. Zanroth arrives. Freedom would not come easy. From the skies above Zanroth, the Drethik's crown commander, descended in a biomech forged from extinct species. 20 meters tall, powered by the suffering of 10,000 minds, he landed before the vault. You are the future, he hissed to Zara, but you are broken. Let me fix you. Zara stepped forward. No armor, no weapons, just her. You built me, but you forgot the most important part. She tapped her chest. I remember my father, my mother, my planet, my name. She raised her voice, speaking for the vault, for the suns, for Earth. And I remember who I fight for. Then she charged the final battle, Zara, and Zanroth clashed like gods. He moved like lightning, striking with crushing force. She dodged, slipped, cut, using speed instead of power. Every blow she landed glowed with fury. Every scream from the battlefield below echoed in her mind. Eric, watching from the vault doors, didn't interfere. He believed in her now, just as his daughter. But as Earth's answer, Zanroth caught her by the throat. "You are mine," he growled. Zara smiled through blood. "No," she pulled a pulse core grenade from her chest plate. "Activated. I'm Earth's." She shoved it into his chest. Light exploded. The mountain cracked. Zanroth vanished in fire. Aftermatha. Children were awake. Some cried. Some remembered nothing, but they were alive. The ark lifted them off the surface, one by one, while the last of the Drethic world burned behind them. Zara limped into the ship, half broken. Her enhancements were fried, her body failing. Eric caught her as she collapsed. "You did it," he whispered. Zara looked up at him, smiling faintly. "No, Dad, we did." 1 year later, Earth was rebuilding. The galaxy was changed. The Drethic, where gone what was left, had scattered. The fear that once silenced the stars had ended. In a new Earth Council hall, statue stood. Zara Solis, child of war, savior of children, daughter of Earth. The broken suns were now Earth's protectors, still healing, but never forgotten. And every night as the stars rose, humanity remembered. They took Earth's children. But Earth came back, and Earth won.